eventually when we get so good, like we're climbing up on our like I think we got like 266 subscribers right now, and I've only been on YouTube for like since July last year.
Okay.
So no headsets. Eventually, when we get to a place where we can do that, where you just have the mics, like the boom mic with the arm. That's what I want to get. Yeah. And then just have a permanent area. But I like being out here in the public eye too. Yeah. People come in there like so excited. Oh, yeah, we have a podcast, and she makes the signs behind us, and I put it up there on Facebook. So I try to tell people go to YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. But I'm trying to really.
Is it live on YouTube or how's it?
Yeah, it's live on YouTube. You just click on it. So what he'll do is probably send you. What's good, everybody? I'm Neal, Newberry, host of Live from the Nickel. What's good, everybody? It's Neal Newberry here, host of Live from the Nickel. You guys know where we at. We love our fun. This is our favorite spot. This is what we like to do. We have a good time. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Y'all see Mr. Brown is not here. He had his surgery on Tuesday. So get well, my brother. But me and Mr. Amanda can hold it down. That's what we do. We got a great guest on. I was just chopping up with him a little bit, man. And, graduated from St. John's. Now he's a head coach at St. John's. He's been doing head coaching for 6 years. Was an AD for 13 years. This man is doing his thing. Now he's a director, external relations. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing his thing. So before, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to tap in on this guy. This guy he's really doing some things. And for everybody out there, you know, people were telling me, Miss Amanda, like, hey, when you have some guys on there, you got some guys, you got a lot of women on there. We don't discriminate. We love the women too, but we're going to get some guys on. A lot of the guys are busy. So he took time out of his busy schedule. So I want everybody in the city to stand up, show this man some love. Mike Shoen, please.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. This is fun.
Oh, man, it's going to be a great episode. Even though we don't got Mr. Brown, we got
I'm
Mr.
going to get like a little cardboard cutout.
Hey, we should have did that. We should have did that.
Of his face.
Oh, absolutely. He's here, but he's not here. You know what I'm saying? But before we get to tapping in on you, Mike, we got a little gift. We got a little gift for you. Ooh, hey Nick. You know, all our guests that come on, we show them some love. So you know, we got a T-shirt in there for you. You know, you can wear it and represent the Nickel. You know, I appreciate it.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Love it.
Ah, thank you. Yeah.
And I got the XL too, which is good because people don't think I'm an XL, but I'm an XL.
Well, you know,
I got an old washer. It'll shrink a little bit. Right in the middle.
I just updated my washer. You know what I'm saying? I had to get a big washer. I had to finally get a new washer because my other washer went out. But you're right, the old washers will shrink.
They'll shrink them, so I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let Miss Amanda start it off when I come in. You know, the ladies first. Ladies first about it.
One of his huge accomplishments I noticed that you didn't mention earlier was that he won the 2021 Blade All Boys Coach of the Year, which is very impressive.
Oh, you did.
I want to kind of start out with what helped you decide what you wanted to do after graduation and to transition you to head back to your alma mater.
Yeah, so I went to the University of Dayton. And I actually, to kind of go back from there, like you guys said, I was 05 at St. John's. I played there. I was an okay player, but I was on really good teams.
Okay.
You guys remember like Brian Roberts?
I remember Brian Roberts, yeah.
So I was their teammate. So I did a lot of clapping while they did a lot of scoring. So I was just an average player. I knew I wanted to stay involved in basketball in some way, shape, or form. So when I went to Dayton, I wasn't obviously good enough to play there, but I worked for the men's team while I was there. So I was a student assistant and kind of did all the behind the scenes, the dirty work. I got a million stories about crazy stuff I did.
Learned a lot.
So,
Learned a lot.
And I majored in education there, but I kind of joked. I kind of majored in basketball and minored in school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when I got out of there, I kind of wanted to be a college coach for a little bit, and but at the same time, this is no knock on college coaches. I had a couple guys that I worked with that were on staff that I was like, man, I just don't know if I want to be a 45-year-old guy and be like that guy right now. Like, I wanted to make sure I had a family. I didn't want to work crazy hours that they work. But I was still kind of had the itch. I applied for some jobs right when I got out, and then my parents had some health issues, so it kind of made it easier for me to kind of come back. And a position opened at St. John's, and then I had talked to Coach Heinzel, who was the guy before me, who was the head coach for 40 years, and he's like, if you get the position, you can come coach. So came back, and it was not like in my scope to be like a kind of a lifer in a sense. And I was a volunteer assistant on the JV team for a year. Then I was the head freshman coach for 5. And then I was Coach Heinzel's top assistant for 4. And then when he stepped down, I was fortunate enough to get the job. So, it like I said, it wasn't something I was like, man, this is what I want to do. And now I'm in the thick of it day to day. You don't kind of sit back and step back. Like when I was a kid, I was a ball boy for St. John's. I was around it I used to go to camps. I mean, I was like, those guys were like big time to me. And now to kind of think that I'm the one who's running the show it is surreal, especially when I see some of those older alums. Like you said, you were what year?
96 I came out.
96, so like Loran Sims and John Walker and all those guys. Like you start thinking like Eddie Zimke, Eric Floyd, those guys in those era. Like those were people as a little kid I would look up to and watch play, and now to think that I'm kind of the one running the show it's very humbling, and something that I love to do.
It's like a full circle. It
really
like
is.
Fate led you back to where you are now. That's really, really cool. What's something that coaching has taught you?
Ooh, good answer.
It is.
Because I look at coaching as being a very difficult thing.
I think one, you can't really care what other people think. Is one. You got to have thick skin, personally, especially coming into a position like St. John's, which is kind of in Toledo is a well, strongly looked upon position, right? And following Coach Heinzel, like I'm sure there were a lot of people that were watching me closely, waiting for me to make a mistake, or having opinions and things like that. So you try to just clear out the noise and kind of focus in on the job. And Coach Heinzel actually was the one who told me the 2 things when I got it. He was like, as long as you can go to bed at night and go to sleep and not worry about the decisions you made, and you're comfortable with the decisions, you're good. And also, can you cuss on this?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You can't give a shit what anyone else thinks. Just do your job.
Absolutely.
So
great advice.
Those, kind of stick to those things. And I would say being patient. With kids. Like at the end of the day, I think you are working with kids. Basketball is great, but it's not the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm starting to see that now, the benefit of some of that now that, being a head coach for 6 years now, some guys coming back that are now, adults, graduated from college. It's cool to have those relationships with them after the fact. Because it is bigger than basketball.
Absolutely. You made a difference to them for them to come back and see you. I love that.
Listen, man, you got some real good answers there.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, man, it's a beautiful thing. I feel like this is a beautiful thing for you. You grew up around all the St. John alumni and stuff like that, and you starting from a ball boy, working your way up. That's kind of actually cool that you end up being a head coach of your alma mater. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a life dream for some people.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. But my question to you is, Mike, is this. Like, I feel like I know you, sitting there talking to you and stuff like that. And like I said, I looked up some of the things you've done there. And it's great, man. I see on your Facebook page, you're always promoting camps and stuff like that. Every guest we've had on here, like I said, I'm very proud of any guest that come on. And it's showing love to Toledo.
No doubt.
People don't really understand, like, what we try. Me, Miss Amanda, and Don, we try to show love and let people know what they're doing in the community. Because we got so much going on in the world. A lot of negative. We need a lot of positive. With you and all the other coaches that came on here, boxers, whatever, it's a beautiful thing. But my question to you is, when you did make a mistake, and of course you learned from that mistake, were you kind of nervous when you got into the coaching? Because you follow behind a true legend. Now you're making your own mark.
Right.
So,
I think
What's the biggest? I mean, what's the biggest mistake? I mean, there's mistakes that were you scared to make mistakes following after high school, or what was your mindset like?
You know, a little bit. I mean, I think the fact that I was there for 10 years before as an assistant helped me. You know, because it wasn't like I just jumped in and I was, not around the program. So I had I didn't have to recreate the wheel. I was able to kind of follow the foundation coach had built, follow the foundation that the school provides. Obviously you're always a little nervous. I won my first game, so that night that kind of
that helps it out.
right?
That calms the nerves.
But I mean, still to this day, like you go to a big game or any game, like you get the butterflies, you get the nerves. But the thing I always try to keep telling myself, and I coach this way, is like it is not about me, it's about the players, right? Like they win and lose games, like I'm willing to fall on the cross for them on losses and things like that, but we try to prepare and put them in the best position to be successful. So, win, lose, or draw, you're nervous for those games, but as time goes, I guess the nerves of trying to prove people right or wrong kind of go.
Yeah.
It's just the nerves of competition after a while. But yeah, I've mistakes, man. I mean, I probably made mistakes today. Just ask my wife. I screwed up our bus, we got a new van.
Okay.
Because we got
For all those
have three
babies.
kids. And I was getting mulch this morning at Home Depot, and sometimes the mulch gets the water in there.
Absolutely,
So we pulled it out, and there was like this red water on this new van, and she was furious. So we were playing. So I make mistakes all the time. So I made a mistake on the court. That's nothing.
Right? No, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, being a coach, man. I mean, people always ask me like, "Hey, man, you should coach and we're going to coach." When I stopped playing basketball, way after I got out of high school, like playing in not camps, but like in leagues, men leagues and stuff. Coaching is not for me. What I see with you and all the guests we ever had on that are coaches, they got that knack.
Right.
I love the game of basketball. I do. I watch men's basketball, women's basketball. We're going to get into topics about that. I love watching it. But when when the time is up, it's up. But I can see that you're going to make a big input on there.
I appreciate
Might be
that.
better than Mr. Hycho.
I don't know about that.
He's calling it on record.
I just try to do a good job for the kids on a day-to-day basis, and keep. I mean, and Coach was saying too, like St. John's. In my opinion, St. John's basketball is bigger than me. It's bigger than Coach.
It is. It's about the kids.
And so doing right by them, I think, is key. I was. You were probably a better player than I was. And I think too.
I was saying as you.
And I think. Me not being as good of a player probably made me a better coach. I know it did for sure, because when I talk, you have those conversations with guys year in and year out that aren't playing or trying to fight to get on the floor or make the team, and I can literally sit there and say, like, man, I've been in your shoes. I was not the guy who everything was given to.
Yes.
I had to earn any snippet that I got, and.
That makes you the person you are now.
Yeah, and so I think it helps me be a little more understanding of where the players are coming from, and then I always felt like in order for me as a player to become a good player, I had to be a student of the game and really try to know the game, and I think that really helped me improve and kind of have that niche or that itch to coach.
I know, like you said, when I was in high school, I played my freshman and sophomore year, right? And after that, it's politics. We're going back in the 90s. And
who's the coach you played back then?
Oh man, we had Guerrero. He came from Wade.
Okay.
Great. He was at Wade for so many years. Then he came over to Clay, and don't get me wrong, he's a great coach. But when you come from one system to another system, it's a little politic, and I'm not mad about that, because at the end of the day, I love the game of basketball, and that's why I played intramural basketball my junior and senior year. And after that, I played with my cousins. We were playing at Steve Mix and stuff like that. I got better after high school. I was one of those guys. I got better after high school. And
I did too for a year, and then natural light got in the way.
Yeah.
In college a little bit. I just wasn't in good shape.
Yeah.
But I remember there was nothing more fun in college going to the rec and playing some college football players as a freshman.
Right.
That and I don't look the part and going out and giving some guys some buckets in freshman year of college. That was some of the most fun basketball I've ever experienced.
Listen, I can say that when I got out of high school, it took me a couple years playing with my two cousins, man. they took to it more, especially my cousin Aaron. He's a head football coach at Bowser now. He was that way for years, and he was good. Aaron Peacock was great. I mean, to me, I think out of all three, him, my other cousin Jerome Bush, I felt like Aaron was better, more advanced. He played football and he played basketball. But me as a person, I was just the average player. But I had the moments. Right. I had the moments playing for my job and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We won the chip, but you know, this is what we do now. And I brought this young lady on, and that's what we like doing, going around the city.
I did not play basketball in high school.
You didn't play no basketball?
I'm 5'3". So I never played it. Been like.
Listen,
we played it. Okay, so I went to Catholic school, so we played it in gym class.
Okay.
And it had to be like boy, girl on the team.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Cardinal Strict.
Nice. Okay.
So I had, and in grade school, we would play. I went to Rossford. We played at the rec center and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I would have fun playing. It was. I wasn't getting all those buckets. Everybody was taller than me. Everybody was taller than me. I was the shortest girl. That's why I had a Charlotte Hornets jacket, and Muggsy Bogues was my favorite.
Muggsy Bogues.
I was like, he's short too.
He was your height.
Yeah,
He's
right.
Short too, yeah.
He was a great forward general.
I can still do it.
Great forward general. Well, you know what, Mike, man?
Definitely not in girls basketball, though. I
always thought you was a basketball player. You look like you scrappy, body check like Brunson from
I played
the Knicks.
volleyball.
You know what I'm saying?
I played volleyball. I loved when we got to play football in gym class and stuff like that. The girls didn't have a team, obviously, but I would love to get to play the boys and stuff in gym class, and I always did really well. And
that's why you feisty.
Really fun.
That's why you feisty.
I love being feisty. I love playing sports. I'm just not the greatest at
Okay.
Definitely not basketball's not my softball. I like softball.
Softball.
Yeah, softball.
So, since we know so much about our guests today, now we're going to pick his brain about the NBA playoffs right now. The playoffs have been so crazy. She's been doing so well. She followed basketball.
Not anymore. The Celtics are.
Well, yeah. Well,
I think a lot of people assume the Celtics.
I picked the Celtics.
I think everybody thought the Celtics.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
If you would have told me that the Cavs and the Celtics, neither one of them would be in the Eastern Conference Finals,
I'm really surprised.
Man, come on, man. Let's be honest. First of all, I don't know what happened to the Celtics. I mean, not Celtics, but what happened to the Cavaliers? They were first of all, they had the best record in the East all season long. They're knocking people out every game just about, and then you tell me that they get smacked. That's Mr. Brown's team. He loves.
We were just talking about it.
Yeah, he loves the Cavs, and he just can't believe it. And then Celtics, Jason Tatum gets hurt.
Well, and then I think a lot of it was. It's interesting. So I'm a huge NBA advocate.
Okay.
Like I think people that hate on the NBA don't actually watch it. They just have a perceived opinion of what it is.
Yeah.
They're not watching it all the time.
They're watching the little clips.
Correct. Now, granted, what are the knocks on the NBA nowadays? Like it's kind of soft.
Load management.
Mm-hmm. It's not physical.
Yeah.
Too many threes. Whatever. Analytics kind of thing, or all
You're
those
right.
things,
Yeah,
right? And first of all, I don't think people watch it. I think an 82-game season is never going to change, but that's hard to do. An 82-game season is a long season.
Yes, it is.
And so, when someone has an opinion on game 45 about some guy they think is not playing hard or something, or not playing because of an injury or something,
Right.
I'm like, I want to see you. In mid-January on a Wednesday at your job, are you grinding all day?
Yeah, are you? Yeah.
No, you know what I mean?
No.
I think people create these opinions for a variety of reasons I think are unfair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch the NBA a ton during this regular season, but I love the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think this playoffs have been some of the best.
I'm crazy.
Right.
The level of physicality has been amped up. The officiating has changed from the regular season.
Right.
You're seeing injuries, which I think is kind of a narrative right now of is it too much physicality is creating some of these injuries? I don't know, but I think the injuries for the Cavs and Celtics have been the biggest issue for both those guys. They just haven't been 100%. And now you kind of see what happens with that. With that being said, the Knicks, man, are tough, and the Pacers pace the way they play. Fit playing the way the Cavs play. They both played very, very fast pace, and Tyrese Halliburton is a dude.
Mr. Underrated.
He is a dude.
He came out of Wisconsin. Nobody really talked about him. He's got a chip on his shoulder. The thing about the NBA, I like we go back. Me and my dad and my brother and my cousins, we all used to watch it. On Sundays back in the day. I'm 36, NBA, the Lakers, Boston. Times have changed. back in the day when you played against the Pistons, you got your head knocked off. You went Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, you went to the hole. You felt that. Now you can't do that. Now it's a lot of threes. But the game has evolved. It's different. Yeah.
Players are more skilled.
Absolutely.
Players are more athletic.
Absolutely.
It's just the way it is. And, you watch some of those, 90s games, and it's great basketball, but there's people playing in the paint more.
Yes.
Two posts.
Yes.
Posts couldn't shoot as well at that time, so now the game's spread out more. And I think one thing, too, that maybe the general viewer might not know is the defensive 3-second rule. So in the college, you could sit in the paint and help.
Oh,
high school, we could sit in the paint and help.
Absolutely.
If you do that in the NBA, you're getting called for shooting free throws.
Yes.
So the floor is so much more open for driving lanes. And then obviously replay, technology plays a factor in how you foul. Because
Absolutely.
if you foul wrong now, they're going to go to replay and check it out. So, I think anything it's better. I mean, the players are better, the athletes are better. I think the coaching's better, but for some people, it's just difficult to see the change. You see it in every sport. You see it in baseball now with the
you see it
pitch
in
clock.
everything.
Oh yeah. They speed the game up in baseball now.
Constantly changing. Baseball's constantly changing. So absolutely, the world of sports is constantly changing, but some people don't. They'd rather see the quarterback still smoking cigs on the sideline.
Correct.
Right.
It's not the 70s anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, I grew up a Michael Jordan fan, and he's my guy. He's my favorite player of all time. But if Michael Jordan played in this era of social media and stuff, he may not be the Michael Jordan we all know, just because of some of his other vices in his life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I have empathy for athletes nowadays because they have a microscope on them 24/7.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Honestly, with time changes, and people have to understand that. And the only thing I'm a little mad about now, the NIL, they have to put a cap on that. You have to, because you have the quarterback that came out of Tennessee. He wanted this amount of money. They said no. He goes over to UCLA and they give him the money. They will put a cap on that. I think they will. But with the NBA, I like what's going on. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes the low management, I get it. Those guys take a lot of beat. I mean, but if you look at it, LeBron is a freak of nature. He's 40 years old.
Oh man,
he looks good. He's always took care of his body, but he spends thousands and thousands of dollars on his body to do that. And then you have people like Steph Curry. If you go back when he first came out of Davidson and got drafted by Golden State, remember he was hurt a lot. He had ankle problems, he had foot problems, shoulder problems. So it takes a lot out of you. I feel like your body's going to let you know if Father Time has an unbeaten record.
Oh yeah,
you're never going to be Father Time, and so.
And I think too, people kind of blame it on the players for load management, but I would imagine there's a lot of people on the staff, in the front office, in the athletic training facilities that are the ones actually controlling those things.
Yeah.
It's probably those dudes are competitive, man. They want to play.
Yes.
So if they're getting held out, some of it may not be their choice. So I think it's kind of unfair to go after the players in that regard too.
We don't know. We're
on the outside looking at it.
And I do like what Jalen Brunson said one time. He put it on one of his social medias. He was like, "Listen, I wanted to play, but I couldn't play." This is the guy that he kind of. I remind myself, I always was hitting the floor. I wanted to win. I was competitive, but I like watching him play.
Oh man,
he picks his spots and he know how to use his body to shield off. I'm gonna take the Knicks over Indiana. I really am. You know what I'm saying?
Hey Nick. The Knicks.
I picked the Knicks.
You picked the Knicks?
Well, because the Celtics are out, so then I had to pick somebody else.
So
I'm happy with either one. I like watching both teams, but I think the Knicks are just tough as hell. And I'll take the Pacers. I'm going to take the Pacers. Yeah,
all right.
I do.
I said Knicks.
I think the Pacers.
We got 2-1, Mike.
I think the Pacers. I think the Knicks will have a hard time guarding the Pacers. I think the Pacers will do a better job.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
I'm going to tell you one thing about the Pacers I'm a little nervous about. They got guys, are very, very long. And here you go, Mike. They got guys are like all their guards, all their players are over 6 foot, like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". They're long, so they might cause a little problem. But Halliburton if he gets hot, then the Knicks gonna be in trouble. But I'm Obi. I like Obi.
Jalen. He's a Dayton guy, so I love Obi.
You're right. He's from Dayton. Yeah. I like Obi.
Siakam. Pascal Siakam, is he with the Pacers?
He with the Pacers.
They just
He
got
nice.
they got those guys that can switch and stuff. And
What's the big guy down there from?
Miles Turner.
He can ball, but I don't like the way he dresses. He got a.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
No, for real,
fair.
man.
I'll give you that one.
You gotta hit the way he dresses, man. He different. He different. But I mess
can
with his
play
game.
them. Yeah.
I mess with his game, and then you got. I mean, Indiana's got some great players. It was a toss-up when I woke up this morning. I was going back and forth with my dad. My dad said he don't care. He a Lakers fan, but he said on the truth or the strength, he said he liked the Pacers better.
Yeah, and I think it's just cool they're both playing. It reminds you of the old Reggie Miller, John Starks times in the '90s, those playoffs.
Yeah, that was
so
basketball.
It'll be a cool series to watch, I think. And it's always fun when someone else now you know someone else. Unless Denver wins today, now you know someone else is going to win. I kind of like that.
You got to switch it up.
Yeah.
When Golden State won it 4 years in a row, man, you go, okay, let's mix it up. You go back to when the Bulls was in the 90s. Chicago was just making hectic for everybody. And then when Mike retired, guess who started? Houston won. You know what I'm saying? You want to see somebody different.
Of course, you always want to see the best team win, but
You always
it's
do.
like you get tired of seeing the Chiefs go to Super Bowl every year. You
Oh,
get tired of seeing, like,
yes,
people
yes.
get tired of the same teams every year.
Yes.
Whenever
Make it up.
It's
Well,
kind of nice to change it up.
So I think
Go ahead.
I just think it'll be fun if Denver loses. To just see a guy like Anthony Edwards, Brunson, Halliburton, or who would have been the other team then. Shea, one of those guys win it, kind of start. I think it's cool to see those younger guys start coming in and kind of putting their imprint on the league.
Well, you got Denver coming on at 3:30 today.
Yeah.
Now, between Denver and OKC, I'm a little disappointed in OKC because they let Denver back into the series. Now it's a game 7. So who are you going to take?
I want OKC to win for that sheer factor. I like Shea. I like the way he goes about stuff. He's good.
Nice. He's nice.
But I still think Jokic is the best player in the world. So, if you got one game, if he really wants, it'll be fantastic to watch those two go after it and try to win a game 7. But it's just Jokic, man. If he wants to score, he's going to score.
Yeah. There's no stopping him.
And so it'll be interesting to see how aggressive I think he is offensively because, obviously he's known to be kind of a distributor first.
For sure.
But, man, it'll be a heck of a game.
So you're going Denver.
I
want OKC.
I want OKC, but it's hard for me to put a bet against Jokic.
Okay.
In a deciding
It's
game.
fair.
Yeah.
I'll go with you, Miss Amanda. Come on now.
I honestly feel exactly the same. I'd rather see. I'm not gonna bet on this game. I'd rather see OKC win, but it's really hard to pick a definite. I know that this team's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a great game. But I'm gonna go with OKC.
Ooh.
I like it.
Ooh.
You can't go wrong.
You can't.
I think it's to be a good game.
I think they're upset. They let him back in.
Yeah.
And now
It
they
is
gotta
at
shut him out.
OKC too.
They gotta shut him out.
So, me and my man, shout out to my man Ray from work. We've been watching it all this week while I was at work, trying to, all last week too, just trying to figure out what was going to happen. I did say it was going to go 7 games. Man, it's a tough series, but if I'm a betting man, I'm going to go with OKC. And the reason why, SGA is upcoming. It's hard for them to stop him. Jamal Murray's still underneath the weather, and I feel like Joker's doing everything he can do. But here's the thing it's got to be somebody else stepping up, and I feel like nobody else is really stepping up like they need to. So I feel like OKC's younger. They're ready. And they just, this is a good test for them, but I think they're going to pull it out today.
I hope you guys are right.
Hey.
I hope you're right.
So if OKC wins, they got to play Minnesota, and man, I would love to see that series. In that series, I don't know what's going to happen with that series. If OKC wins, that's a great series.
Oh man,
Two young upcoming stars.
Oh yeah, you couldn't. If
you couldn't ask for anything else.
Couldn't ask for.
Come on, man.
SGA, 2 guys trying to cement their legacy and all that. I think Ant's like 23, right?
Yeah.
SGA's probably right around the same age.
About 23, 24. You know what I'm saying?
That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're gonna do on that situation, man. That's a tough situation, but I tell you right now, I don't really know. I don't know in that situation. OKC and Minnesota, I don't know who would win that because that's what we're going to
I'd probably take OKC, but again, it's hard to. I think OKC is the best team. If you're across the board, but it doesn't mean they're going to win.
Right.
Ant's just kind of got that it about him. He got that that will, just kind of will his team to wins.
Okay.
So, but I do think that OKC is the best team, probably, especially now that Boston, Boston's not who they were, and Cleveland kind of, I don't know, maybe just not quite ready for this.
Okay. So, the NBA lottery, I was talking to people. The NBA lottery was crazy. I don't know. Dallas got the first pick. I don't know how that happened.
How did they come up with it?
I have no idea.
So don't they do it? They put so many ping pong balls in, right?
Yeah.
Bingo.
Right? They had a 10%, or I think 1%.
It's like a 1.9%.
Yeah, 1%. Yeah, you're right. And I was like, and usually what happens is the worst team usually gets it.
Typically, because they got the best odds.
Absolutely, but someone was telling me that Detroit didn't get it when they were down in the year when they were just trying to get better. They never got it, and then for Dallas to trade Luka, got Anthony Davis, and now you got the first pick of the draft. What do you think about that, Mike?
Things worked out for them.
They got very lucky this year.
They got things worked out for them because the owner or GM or whatever was getting.
Oh, they were about to kill him, man.
And I think
he was getting bomb threats and everything, man.
I know, so this might save him. And I mean, and then too, I think if the Lakers were still playing and Luka was killing it right now, I think it would be tougher for him. But the fact that the Lakers kind of flaked out, and didn't play well, and probably makes the Dallas fans feel a little better. And then you get that pick. I mean, that's a game changer. And I think they've already said they're taking Flag, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm a Duke
they're
guy.
not going to trade that pick.
I like Cooper Flag. I'm glad he's not going to Washington because there's nothing in Washington.
Yeah.
They're rebuilding and stuff. But I just felt it was kind of crazy that they got the #1 pick and you just got rid of Luka. You made
conspiracy theorists are out on that.
Yeah, buddy. I got to go with you on that one because I'm still a little skeptical about that. So, I follow a little bit of baseball. I'm a Yankees fan. I don't really care for the Mets. It's a free hat. It just goes down. So I'm not a Mets fan. I told my man Nick that. I told him I'm not a Mets fan. I'm a Yankees fan, but I got a free hat. So they're talking about reinstating Pete Rose and Joe Jackson into the Hall of Fame. 2028, I guess. He's got an opportunity to get into that. Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle, great baseball player, Hall of Famer. He should be in the Hall of Fame. What do you think about that?
I'm not a huge baseball guy.
Okay.
But I know a little bit about both of them, obviously. I mean, I think I'm for them being reinstated. I think
Absolutely.
Time has passed. I think, again, if you looked at, I'm not an Ohio State guy, but like Jim Tressel and all the stuff, the tattoos, and now you see, and they get in trouble and stuff for that, and now you see college guys getting millions and millions of dollars. What exactly did Pete Rose do? Pete
Rose was betting. Yeah, he was betting on his team.
On his team.
Yeah.
Was his team playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was a hell of a player. So I mean. And then Shoeless Joe Jackson, man, that was so long ago now.
Right, just let him be in there, man.
That was in 1919, just so you know.
Was it really?
When he,
when did Pete Rose thing happen? Was that had been in the 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, it was late 80s, early.
Yeah.
It was like 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
But you listen, time has passed. These guys are, God rest their soul.
Right.
I'm in the Hall of Fame, man.
I think that's fair.
I'm all for that.
And I think it's a good thing for baseball too. Probably, the purists probably don't like it. But again, moving on to
yes,
not living in the past. Totally, I would be for it. Again, I don't know all the ins and outs, all that to have a great opinion on it, but I always like Pete Rose. He always seemed like a good guy.
I like him.
Trying to give back to the game when he was done. So
we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Man, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm a big baseball fan.
I know you are. You
forever.
rocking the Tigers on right now.
I've kind of always thought that they both should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what they did was wrong, obviously. But when you look at everything that they've done for baseball and their illustrious careers and the teams they played for, let them in the Hall of Fame. I think that about anything. I don't think that unless you've murdered somebody, I don't think that there's you've been on a game. It's a stupid thing to do. They were punished tenfold for it.
Right.
I just feel bad that it's always after they pass away that it seems to be like, okay, now let's relook at this. And I know that Pete Rose would have loved to see himself go in Hall of Fame before he passed away. And it's just so crazy that he just recently died. Now we'll let him in. I don't think that's right.
It's kind of sucked that that's what's got to happen.
That's right. I mean, it's okay. It's a good legacy for his family and everything, but I know he really would have liked to see that happen while he was still alive.
Well, I got one last topic. This topic when I was doing the notes about you coming on, Mike, and stuff. I always try to. She's so good at her stuff. If I send it to her, she's like, "Oh yeah," and then she puts a little remix on her stuff. So is Mr. Brown. But this right here was crazy what I've seen. So the Lakers, they always in the media or on the news for something crazy.
Yeah.
But this right here, I was cracking up when I seen this. The Lakers are searching for a head strengthening coach and conditioning coach to motivate players. Now, when they got knocked out, they asked J.J. Redick about some things, and J.J. Redick said, "We don't look like we're in shape."
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't talking about LeBron. We know he wasn't talking about LeBron. What he was talking about was Luka.
Right.
So now you put us on your website, and I looked it up. It was on your website about hiring a strengthening and a motivation coach. If you need to motivate somebody to come to their job.
Is that coach just for Luka? He can hire his own coach then if that's the case. Didn't he like the day after they got out, let's go back to his home country and decide he was gonna just take a
he's
vacation?
playing in some league over there.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like,
That's not fair to the other players.
I mean, I think there's a cultural divide there. You know what I mean? I think you see it with Jokic too a little bit. Like those guys, you know, the NBA probably isn't as important to some of those guys maybe as like the un-American.
very true. Very true.
But yeah, man, Luka's interesting. I mean, I think you know, as weird as it was for Dallas to get rid of him, something was there, right? There was some reason.
Yeah.
So, and then it was the way that whole job description was worded was odd by the Lakers. You just don't see that very often.
No,
it came up on social media or something. It's just it seemed odd. And then like you said, coupled with what JJ said after they lost, it might be Luka Doncic's personal coach.
That's what I think. I always think it's strange when somebody gets rid of their best player, no matter what the circumstance.
No, it is.
Or one of their top players. I'm always like, why are they getting rid of that guy? What is with him that makes them not want him?
Well, listen, when Luka was at Dallas and when they went and got Kyrie in the trade, whatever, or picked him up, whatever, you know, I was worried about that, how they're going to operate. And Luka, to me, when I watched it, Luka never played a lot of defense. He was just doing what he does.
Yeah.
He's great on offense, but he's on a, like you said, that coming from overseas, they don't really play a lot of defense. I don't know how the situation is, but what I've seen with Luka, he will not play any defense. I don't care if you bring a strength coach in. If you're with the best player in the league right now, and if you're not getting in shape and you're going back to your country to play for, and like you said, that's what more important to him over there, winning for his country. I understand that, but you got to get in shape, bro.
Right. Well, I mean, if you remember the clip, I think last year when they won the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And he was drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And that the owner or whoever it was would let him go, walk over and took it out of his hand.
I do remember that.
So like right there,
you know
what I mean? There's something, you know, you're not just doing that just for once. There's some underlying thing there.
I wish I could have had Nick pull that up because
Yeah.
that was crazy. You're absolutely right. He did snatch that beer out of his hand. And I was like, yo, but right there. That's why a lot of things rumbling in Dallas for him.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it the right way.
And then again, too, it wasn't like things were just great at LA when he got there. You know what I mean? I mean, if you were if you're like LeBron and Luka on the same team, okay, this should be like a done deal. I mean, two of the best that was, it's kind of on the tail end, and Luka, who a lot of people think is the best right now.
Yeah.
You can have both those two on the court, and then maybe not and underachieve a little bit. But it is tough. LeBron's 40. People got to remember that. I mean,
he's been playing since he's 18 years old.
He's older than I am.
Yeah, right. Listen, your body is going to tell you when it's time to tap out. And I think, listen, LeBron, they don't even have a bench really.
Yes.
They don't have a bench. No bigs at all.
Yeah.
And it was a miracle they got to where they are at. But you have to go back and reconstruct everything and get that right. And
I would just hate to see this Luka thing turn out toxic for them.
Yes.
Like in the locker room.
Yes.
The example that it's setting to the other players, I don't think that's fair. I think if you get hired for a job, and you're getting all this money for this job, then maybe you should learn the job and learn what they're doing and care. Seem like you care about it. I don't know, just put in a little bit of effort.
Absolutely.
He's probably shook a little bit too, because I think leaving Denver was probably, Dallas was probably the first time he's ever felt unwanted.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so it's probably a little shake to his
absolutely.
personal confidence too.
Anything that happens to you, if you life changes, like, okay, for instance, you know, when something happens to you at your job, you know, you kind of get shook about it. If your position gets eliminated or something happens, for a minute you're a little upset.
Absolutely.
But my grandfather and my father always told me things that one door closes, another door opens. And I think with Luka's situation, he probably was heartbroken. I'm not saying he wasn't. He probably was. He was at Dallas. He got drafted by Dallas. He was so excited. And guess what happens? Now you're going. Nobody told you. Nobody sat down and said, "Hey,
Where you want to go?"
yeah." They just made this transit, and it sucked. And I felt
sure
bad for him.
LA. I mean, I'm sure LA presents its own challenges too.
Oh man,
For a
like
dude from Slovenia, wherever he's from, you know, all of a sudden now he's in LA. Every
Yeah,
day.
that's a lot.
I mean, that's a cultural
That's a big
shift.
culture
Yeah,
shift.
big time. And you know what? You're in the limelight and you're a big star already. So now you're going to LA, and LA is very fast paced.
Right.
I have friends that went there.
And it can be a little toxic if you
man,
don't surround
come on.
yourself with good people. And
Like when you go to LA, if you live in LA, you better be ready.
you can't be
I haven't
naive,
been
that's
there.
for sure.
I heard it's fast. It's like going to the Garden and anything in New York. Them two cities right there are one of the top-notch cities. So when you go there, you got to make sure you keep your name out of the.
It's a big shock.
Yeah.
I would be hugely shocked if I lived in Dallas, Texas, and then I moved to LA.
Yes,
I would be
it was, man. Hey, you guys, we're gonna get out of here, man. We had a great show with Mike here, Mike Shoen. That's my guy. My neighbor, he lives right around the corner from me, so now I have to link up with him, have a beer, and all, then check on him. You guys got to remember, we are sponsored by Divine Printing, and we're sponsored by School Matters. So if you guys want the mugs, I'll get you a mug. If you guys want the t-shirts, you got the t-shirts.
Super
Miss Amanda got
cool.
hers on. Mike got his now. You know what I'm saying? We are not going to do a show next week because, you know, it's Memorial Weekend, so you guys be safe out there. But we're going to be June 1st. We are going to be at the Pickleball of Toledo. So that's going to be a great show for us. Mr. Brown will not be back because he'll still be off. And I'm going to have my surgery on the 17th of June. So you guys keep us in prayers. Y'all live right, do right. You guys going to be all right. Later.